Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Aaron at Booyah Farms. I just wanted to do kind of a quick before and after video. It's kind of hard to see in here, but if you look, there's that stuff. Bermuda grass coming in, and I can also see my mulch, which is down here, past this basil plant, is getting a little thin. And I'm just going to go through and point this garden up, and more or less that means yanking out the grass and mulching. And I've just got done with this one. There's a couple chilies around the corner here. There's a cucumber. There's another patch of chilies back there. And this is kind of something. Golly, I just got stabbed in the foot. There we go. Ow. It's a little thin over here. That's the other thing about pointing up your garden. You want to find your holes and fill them, because you're going to have to deal with the Bermuda grass. If you do raised bed gardens in Arizona, if you do in-ground beds like I do, you have to go through periodically. The Bermuda grass is just going to come. But there are ways to beat it, and we'll talk about that. And I will get back with you shortly after I point these gardens up. Alright, so we're back here. This video's the day after I went through here and cleaned this garden out, but I just wanted to show a couple things here. I went through this garden, and it looks pretty good. And this tomato looks a little wimpy, but I'm not too worried about it. And what we did was pretty much, I call it pointing up a garden. But as you go in there, you get the big chunks of Bermuda out of it, and you come back and you mulch it. You put a good layer. I like to use alfalfa. I put a good layer of alfalfa down, and this helps fight the Bermuda. So the Bermuda is a pain in the butt here. You're going to have to deal with it. If you do raised bed gardens, if you do in-ground gardens like these are, sooner or later the Bermuda is going to come in. It's water and heat and sun. You will get Bermuda grass. So what you got to do periodically, and it makes your life a lot easier, is go through and pick all this stuff out. And then you come back in and you throw a layer of mulch on. There's a lot of different things you can use for mulch. I just buy a bale of alfalfa about every 2 months, and it works fine. You can see over here, the plants have pretty much shaded out the Bermuda, and that's what you want to do. It's when you got holes like this, it starts popping up. You can see right down to the straight ground, the Bermuda will come up in there every time. And that's the other point of pointing these things up, is you kind of go through and clean them up, and you can actually see, okay, we got an empty spot here. We need to put a plant in there, because if we don't, the Bermuda grass is going to come through. And if you do it periodically, it's not a pain in the butt. If you let it go for a long time, it's impossible. So that's my biggest strategy for getting rid of Bermuda, is just to pull it once in a while, come back with mulch, and sooner or later the whole thing's going to fill in. I'm probably going to backfill. I got a couple holes in this thing, and I'm probably going to just backfill it with some basil plants, and I think I have some sweet potato slips. I might just put those in there for fun, and we'll see what happens by the end of the summer. The Bermuda grass is tough to fight, though. Another thing I want to tell you about mulching, there's a couple things that are really nice about it. One, you put this down, this alfalfa down, it breaks down. It breaks down pretty fast, especially if you're watering every other day. It pretty much will break down, and it turns into soil, and it makes your soils better and better every time. Another thing is it conserves water. So under this layer of alfalfa is the actual soil, and if you stick your hand down there, it's wet. And if you look, let's reach down here. See, there's a good layer, and I can already feel water. There it is, it's wet. And I haven't watered here in 3 days. So, it conserves water, it adds to fertility, it helps block out weeds. You want to mulch. There's nothing, and there's a lot of different things to mulch with. I just choose alfalfa, and I'm going to come back later and plant some other plants in here in the light spots. I'm going to stay out of these spots because they're already filled in. They look great. And I've got more tomatoes to pick, you know. And if you keep doing this all summer long, it's not a ton of work. It takes you a couple minutes. You go through, you pull, you mulch, and here you go. You have a tomato patch that will go all summer long. Thanks for watching. Hey, so I'm here one more time. I forgot to add one more thing about this mulch. This bale of alfalfa that I bought last time was one of the dirtiest bales of alfalfa I've ever seen. It had plastic bags in it. It had rubber gloves in it. It happens, man. I mean, you're talking about commercial stuff. And look what I found in this thing. This is awesome. That is a shovel handle with the price tag still on it, I'm pretty sure. There's another plastic bag. That came out of my bale of alfalfa. I'm going to go buy some more this weekend. And hopefully it's not this dirty. I find, you know, when you find stuff like this, all you got to do is pick it out of there and throw it away. You can't get upset about it. It's commercial farming. And those guys got to make a living too. But yeah, I actually pulled a stinking shovel handle out of here. Thing's been cut in half and broken into a million pieces too. And that's some of the stuff you find when you're gardening.